Special LÜK Early Learning Series for Children with Special Needs. This is a 3-book workbook set that focuses on critical elements for children's early learning, including hand-eye coordination, fine motor skills, memory, concentration, visual perception. In this series, you'll need the Bambino LÜK 6-tile controller, which is sold separately. In the beginning of each of the activity books, it has step-by-step instructions on how to set up your tiles. This particular book is a little bit different than the Bambino series, as it breaks down the exercises in segments. We start off with page 1 and 2, graduate to 3 to 5, and continue on from 6 to 12. The initial activities on page 1, you may choose not to use the controller at all, but they will be matching the tiles in the controller to the same size and same image by placing the tiles on the page. In the meantime, developing their motor skills and hand-eye coordination. In pages 3 to 5, you graduate into an additional difficulty by introducing a second step. In this aspect, we have left to right, so we have a tile in the left-hand corner and a tile on the right, and we also introduce bringing the tiles from the top to the bottom. On the activities on page 6, we introduce the tiles in different positions. For example, the house, of course, is in the same position, but as you'll notice, the heart and several other tiles are not. Some teachers or parents may choose not to use the self-checking aspect of the book and tray, depending on the child's ability to not have that be confusing for them. On page 7, we introduce a new attribute where the images are the same, but the background changes, and of course we still have some tiles in different positions. And of course, if they were to use the self-checking, that definitely encourages confidence and self-esteem. On page 8, we introduce some colors to the shapes. So we have a white background as well as it's outlined in a different color. And if you'll notice on page 10, although the shapes colors are filled in, the colors actually remain the same as in the previous activity, giving the child the consistency and repetition. Getting into book 2, we continue on matching tiles to the pictures below, and gradually the tiles start to get smaller and become less of the activity and more part of the setup. As you can see here, they're getting smaller. And on page 7, the images on the tiles are now only part of the setup. And the setup is the same throughout all the Bambino LÜK series as well as the Special LÜK. So again, continuing the consistency and repetition and preparing them for the Bambino LÜK series. So we continue on with additional activities. This one here, we are matching the shapes to the shapes. On activity 10, we're doing abstract shapes, but still matching the shape to the shape. Into book 3, we're going to introduce some everyday objects, but more abstract graphics, which require a little more thinking and concentration. For example, in the activity on page 1, we have familiar shapes, familiar objects, but we're still matching, for example, the water can to the water can. On page 2, we have some familiar shapes, but a little more abstract graphics, so requiring a little more concentration. We start to introduce left and right position. And big and small. And of course, there's several different additional activities. So this series, Special LÜK, is great preparation for the student to graduate to the Bambino LÜK series or continue on practicing with the Special LÜK 3 books. Special LÜK.